Welcome to part 5 of the Better Swimmer series, Walk on Water. What I'm guiding you through in this transformational journey is what it means when you're in a place like I was a year ago where I said, God, these waters are really choppy and I wish you'd make them calmer. And the still small voice hearing, hey, how about I make you a better swimmer? I'm teaching you through scripture how to become a better swimmer. And what we've seen up to this point is what's happening for us when the waters are choppy, the winds are high, maybe we even start to drown and the seaweed is choking us out. What I want to go through today is as you cooperate with the first 4 parts of this, you'll start to see a reality occur in this 5th lesson we're diving into. Now, as I introduce this to you, we all reach this point at seasons in choppy waters where we have doubts, we struggle. I still remember looking at my wife in 2008 in a challenging circumstance saying, I don't even believe God works in the details anymore. There's a proverb that says the righteous get knocked down 6 times, but get up 7. I was getting knocked down. And I think what's sad about that proverb to me is we think you've done something wrong if you get knocked down, if you're in choppy waters. No, it happens. The righteous get up that 7th time. So how do we get back up that 7th time? Well, to take us through this transformation, there's a story where Jesus is with his disciples and he has them get into a boat. He's bummed after what's happened with John the Baptist and basically instructs them to go out in the water. And there's a storm, and in this storm, we see a shift occur. Now, as we see this shift occur, it occurs basically for one disciple. All of them have an experience that a lot of us might have, but only one of them goes to the nth degree. So Jesus in this storm approaches them, and there's a lot of mystery in this. I mean, I wish I could tell you that I read this story and I'm 100% all in. I get that it happened. It makes sense. No, some days for me, faith feels like 51% there. Some days it's 80% there. Some days it's 97% there. But where I take myself back to is I'm not looking to just believe something. I'm looking for faith, that I'm taking action in the midst of the uncertainty. So what happens in this story is Jesus is walking on the water to them. And as Jesus approaches them, he immediately comforts them. And there's a reality for us of immediate comfort in the storms, in the choppy waters, when we're becoming better swimmers. That we can learn to hear the I amness of the moment, that Jesus the Christ is with us, that we will never be left, we'll never be forsaken. The double way that is stated in the Greek means it ain't ever gonna happen. Be calm, take heart, I'm here with you. It's okay. And that's the starting point of this story. And after that assurance, one of the disciples basically says, hey, if it's you, tell me to come to you. This is Peter. Now, everyone in the boat is observing. And there are tons of people that are observing. There are tons of people that are watching. There are tons of people that are seeing. And plenty don't see. But there's a big group of people in the boat saying, only one participates. Only one participates. Now, I want you to think about that for where you are in the vision you want to see happen, in the choppy waters of your life. Peter participates. If it's you, tell me to come to you. Now, when I think about this story and I see that, I see something really powerful that I think is skipped over a lot. This story is happening in a way that we don't always grasp how powerful this is from the expectation that they had of who Jesus was going to be to them. Their belief was that Jesus was bringing a revolution to take Rome down, because they were all about the land. The land was the center of their identity, which is why it's so powerful in Acts 6 that they sell the land. What's happening in this story is they walk on the water. Like, whoa, there's a lot here about identity, very deep. But here is the transformation. We saw where John the Baptist was literally in prison, where Jacob was stuck at a riverbank, that Joseph is in prison. Jonah used the language like he is barred in. And after this process of these first 4 lessons, we emerge to be the kind of person who can walk on the water with Jesus. we surf the chaos of our circumstances. We don't bring order to them all, but we take the action in choppy waters. Now, look, I know some of you are like, wait. The story says like he starts to sink. Yeah. And he gets rescued, gets back in the boat. Sure. Was there probably somebody who was observing that out of smugness is like, good job, Peter. Way to go. Who freaking cares? We know Peter drowns or starts to drown. Fish rescues him like Jonah, right? Or something on the other side of the mystery of all things in eternity. It's powerful. Or he's rescued and he's rescued. Or he walks on water. The idea of the story is that he put his eyes more on the circumstances than Jesus. And so he misses this opportunity to walk on water. So I'm in this situation where I'm praying. I got choppy waters. And I feel like I'm drowning and I feel like I'm barred in like Jonah. And something powerful happened for me as I was going through this journey of becoming a better swimmer. And I've had the journey many, many times. This is just one moment that I noticed. And as I'm praying and I felt like I was in these choppy waters, I had my eyes closed and I felt like I could see, and I don't know what it looks like, but I could see the Leviathan. So if you know the ancient creature that's recorded in multiple parts in Scripture, it's this creature, Leviathan, Levi, to be joined together. I see this Leviathan. It's like I look at it in its eyes. It's really a representation of how I'm staring my problems down. And this Leviathan, like blinking at me. And in this moment of prayer that was just unfolding, I just get on the Leviathan and start riding it. Now, I know. Maybe it's because I watched Dune and he rides the worm. I don't know. But this is what was happening to build my faith, that the metaphor shifted, that I'm not drowning in the water, that I'm not about to get eaten by the Leviathan. I'm riding the Leviathan. It's like I'm walking on water. And then, of course, my nerd brain, I'm like, I got to study what's Leviathan mean? And I find the etymology of this. And that you could think about the Leviathan as a character in the midst of your choppy waters, the chaos. Your mission is to bring order to that chaos, but it's not to perfectly order it. It's to ride the Leviathan where chaos and order come together. That's what leadership does. Leadership comes at that moment where chaos and order come together. It surfs that edge. It walks on water. Now, I got to take you to one place in Scripture, because if you can hang with me through this idea for a moment, I can take you as far as you could possibly want to go. In 1 Corinthians 3, there's an argument that's happening. And in that argument, they're arguing about who to follow. Do I follow Paul? Do I follow Apollos? Do I follow Cephas? And I'm going to read it directly to you because it is so powerful. Paul says basically, stop arguing about who you follow. Because it's not about who you follow that you get access to something better, whether it's Paul or Apollos or Cephas. And here's what he says. So then, no more boasting about human leaders. All things are yours. Now, when you hear that phrase, all things are yours, it's like, yeah, prayer, Bible study, singing. No. All things are yours. He says this, whether Paul or Apollos or Cephas. He says, you own these leaders. I own them? Yeah. Consciousness at its deepest expression is a we and me reality. I am my own individual and I am connected to the whole. There is no them and us. It's us. And he says this, not only that, you own the world. You own life. You own death. You own the present. You own future. He says this, the present or the future, all are yours. And you are of Christ, and Christ is of God. Paul is giving us what it means to walk on water there. Because we are seated with Christ in the heavenlies, because we are of Christ and Christ is of God, we walk on water. We transcend the circumstance. We ride the Leviathan, and sometimes we drown, and sometimes we walk on it. But I already own it all. I mean, I own my death. I own the present. I own the future. And this doesn't bring a willfulness that I have to rage against my circumstances. It brings a willingness, a surrender. I'm cooperating with what's unfolding, and where I can bring something to bear, I do. But I don't have to freak out the number of times in my circumstances where the winds are swirling and the waters are choppy. And I've had to take 1 Corinthians 3 and wrap it around me like a blanket to go to bed at night, to know it's all already mine. It's going to be okay. I can tomorrow walk on water if I need to. I just made a list of some moments in my life that I can't explain. Like literally, I have them right here, little card I wrote down. I don't even think I can read them all to you. It would just sound crazy. But moments where I've seen myself in a situation be able to ride the Leviathan, to walk on water, to take the choppy waters and say, Lord, is that you? Are you in this? What's happening? I'm not even sure, but I'm going for it. I don't want to observe. I want to participate. I want to participate in the divine nature. We had a house real estate, truly miracle happen when I was like 21. We would drive around, my wife and I, and dream about building on this one plot of land. And my landlord knocks on the door, tells us that God wanted him to build a house for us at cost. But the catch was it could only be on land he already owned. It was the very acre we would look at. He kept his word, and we moved into that house with 30% equity at like age 21, 22. Crazy. I can just tell you about circumstances where people would tell me something that they were praying that was directly exactly what I had been told to pay attention to, read, or study. The way that I've had things show up in specific circumstances, and I'm like, what is going on in this moment? And I have a sign that you can call me crazy for, but I will tell you can only be interpreted one way. This was something I couldn't control. This was a circumstance given to me. Direct interventions, relationships, miracles in us being provided for and taken care of, down to specific details. I could share with you so many stories where I was able to walk on water. It doesn't make sense, but it happened. And I can cross my arms and sit back and go, nope, I'm just going to question it all, maybe observe some happening in people's lives, or I can participate. I can live in a way that I cooperate with the choppy waters, become a better swimmer, and sometimes I even walk on water. That's the place I want to live. Peace.